Thank you all for being here. Let me first take a moment to lift up my home state city of Providence, which has developed a climate justice plan with a lot of community input that is being very well received and stands as a model for other communities. And also the work that we saw done when this committee went up to New York to meet with the advocates who have supported the New York State legislation. And that community coalition was very, very effective. So we have good models as to how to do this right. It is very doable, and I'm really grateful that you all are here to help bring that message. In particular, Ms. Flores, one of the areas where communities often get overlooked is on the enforcement side. And we have seen, let me get the number right, that the number of EPA staff in your Chicago region has hit an all-time low, and that as a result, the number of EPA inspections are down 60% in that region. What are your thoughts about that unfortunate situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows that our current administration is targeting environmental justice communities. It's targeting our environment. And one of the reasons that a lot of my focus has been at the states to be able to see how can we hold the state accountable to this work while we pass these turbulent times at the federal level. But even I think at the state level, you know, the coal plant in Waukegan in 2012 was issued a notice of violation groundwater contamination coming from the coal plants, and it had from 2010 to 2012 the Waukegan coal plant had over 154 violations from exceeding safe levels of toxic chemicals from the EPA. So these are things that the community doesn't know about unless there are people like Clean Power Lake County, like Faith and Place, local scientists that live in our community that are informing and educating. And I think this information needs to be public. When I look for information on the Superfund sites, there's supposed to be a report out that came out this year, and I can't download it. It's not there. So I had to send an email, and I'm waiting to hear back. So the problem is that there isn't enough communication, and you know we're not able to hold these agencies accountable. So we need to pass legislation where we hold them accountable, and we continue to do that. And it's something that is an ongoing process, and that's why we need you senators, we need everyone to be an ally with environmental justice communities to make sure that this information is not only provided in English, but in the language that the community also predominantly speaks. Like I said, Waukegan is predominantly Latinx and African American. We need everything translated, especially if it's about their public health, because how can you be part of the process if you don't understand what's going on?
My experience has been that when politics is jammed up by powerful polluters, particularly ones who have been given immense new political weaponry by the Citizens United decision and the ability to hide who they are by spending dark money, one of the resources still available is to demand enforcement of the laws as they are presently written. And so if you come across situations in which you feel that the enforcement is not being done consistent with existing law, one of the things we can do, even while the other party and the polluters are jamming up the Senate on this issue, is to demand enforcement and to show a spotlight on these gaps. So please don't hesitate to put us to work in that respect. Ms. Roberts, you wanted to respond?
Yes, sir. We could totally use your help in the great state of Delaware right now in the response to the Crota debacle a year ago today, basically over the Thanksgiving holiday, where it shut down the Delaware Memorial Bridge on both sides of the bridge, New Jersey and Delaware. The health department never came out. The state DEP said that everything was okay, don't worry, as people wandered aimlessly through the streets of the Route 9 industrial corridor near Southbridge and others where my family's from. In addition to that, now it is our understanding 1 year later that facility is granted the opportunity to reopen. There's never been any monitoring or anything. The communities have been asking for it all up and down the Route 9 industrial corridor to no response. And Senator Carper and Senator Whitehouse, we need you on the ground right now. on Route 9 to respond to this Crota debacle where they are not a good neighbor, and they are, in our opinion, part of this Citizens United, feeling like they could do whatever they want to the communities, and that cannot be. Thank you for that offer.
Thank you. My time's expired.